Hello viewers and welcome to Life Balance today, and with me on the amazing channel today is a very beautiful, fantastic, elegant lady. She's a professional and of course she's been doing so well for herself in the industry. Over 18 years experience as a lawyer, a female lawyer for that matter. Not just a female lawyer, she's a maritime lawyer. Okay, and the interesting thing today that I'm going to be talking about her is that she's not just a lawyer, she's also the managing partner of Tsumba and Tsumba legal practitioner. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
And her name, she has a beautiful name, you know, because she's from Tib, I must Benue State precisely. Okay, and of course listen to her name and enjoy her name first and foremost. Her name is KASHIMANA TSUMBA. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so today she's here with us to look at a maritime law. She's a maritime lawyer, and so we're going to be looking at waterways, and not just that, she has a life outside her job. Okay, so we're going to be looking at how she balances her life. So thank you so much for being on this call, ma'am.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay,
it's my pleasure.
Okay, so we're going to be listening to her just after the break. All right, so welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you.
And her name, like I said, we call her Cash for short. That means money, you know, if you want to translate that literally anyway. And that's on a lighter note. So, ma'am, how has it been being, you know, taking such a high position in a very, very reputable organization like that as a managing partner? How did it come about, you know? And you already have 18 years experience and managing such a big firm.
Well, I think being a managing partner is not something that happens overnight. It's just it's an organic process, really. You start from being an associate, a junior associate, you become a mid-level, then you go to become a senior associate, you become a partner, you become a managing partner. It's been a process that has been in the works for years, and it also has to do with interest, really.
Okay.
I'm interested in maritime law, I'm interested in commercial law, I'm interested in the practice of law, the business of law. So being a managing partner is really just projecting the brand of the business, growing the people, growing the talent that you have, and seeing how you can add value in the most ethical way to your client's needs. Essentially, that's what it is.
Okay, so did you set up from beginning to become a maritime lawyer? Because this is not something that is very common, you know. It's not something that we're very familiar with, you know, this part of the world. So how did you, and as a female, discuss that with us. Is it challenging as a female? But by the way, how did you even start up to end as a maritime lawyer?
So by the time, law is a 5-year course.
Okay.
By the time I was in my 3rd year, I knew what area I wanted to specialize in. What made me choose to be a maritime lawyer? I come from a riverine area. I come from Benue.
Okay.
And though people don't really think about Benue in terms of rivers, but in primary school you'll be taught that the biggest rivers in Nigeria are Niger and Benue.
Yes.
So going to the village would always go by barge, and I just got really aware of having the water around me. At some point in my childhood, we moved to Lagos, which was a port city as well, and my dad would take us to the beach all the time.
Okay.
And that just gave me an interest.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I see. That's how you got that interest. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. And so, now, being a maritime lawyer, okay, what does it entail? Does it mean you have to go sue some people for polluting the waters, or what's it all about? I just wonder.
Well, because maritime is a specialist area of law, for one, you have to specialize. After you do your general university, finish law school, it's advisable to do a master's in maritime law, because that then exposes you to the specific principles of that aspect of law. And then, as much as you can, go learn in a maritime firm, because what that does is you then get hands-on experience apart from the theoretical experience that you've learned. Yes, maritime has to do with pollution as well, and there's legislation, local and international, that deals with polluting the waters.
Oh, okay.
So you can't be sued for polluting the waters.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and there are regulators in Nigeria that deal with pollution. We have NIMASA, we have the Nigerian Ports Authority,
Okay.
things like that handle those issues. We have the Nigerian Inland Waterways as well. So there are several parastatals that deal with pollution.
So when you talk about maritime law, do you have so many cases in the maritime law? Because I know that most cases, I mean, as a lay person, you always say your learned colleague. I'm not your learned colleague, and so I think from my own point of view that most of the cases that we see are like maybe offshore, on the land, and all of those things. So when you say maritime law, do you have a lot of challenges there? Do you have a lot of people, doing some things that require you to intervene?
Yes, I think maritime, in fact, I know that maritime is quite there's a lot happening in the maritime space.
Okay.
It's just that it's probably not as publicized as should be.
Okay.
You know that Nigeria is heavily reliant on imports.
Yes.
We're not at the place where we should, we're not as industrialized as we could be. We're building capacity through things like the African Free Trade conventions that are coming up, but we're not where we should be as a country. So a lot of the things that we bring in are imported, and all those have to do with carriage of goods by sea at the ports, and then things like containers, logistics, warehousing. They are all parts of the value chain of maritime. So yes, there's a lot going on, and there are a lot of cases involved. Though most maritime cases are settled out of the courts because most people just want to carry on with business. So there's a lot of alternative dispute resolution in that space. But yes, there's a lot happening in the shipping sector.
Wow.
But like it is, if you are not involved in something, then sometimes it seems like it's quiet, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
So do we have women in this industry?
Yeah,
do we have
quite
a lot
a
of
few.
women or quite a few?
We have quite a few, and we have women organizations as well.
Okay.
We have women in shipping like Wista. We have WIMOCA, women in maritime in Western and Central Africa. So there are women there, not as many as men, but like in every other sector, there's still fewer women than men. But yes.
So what do you have to say to the women out there? Do you want to encourage them to, if they're going into law? I mean, you think maritime law is a place for them? Because I know it's actually competitive. I mean, do your male counterparts treat you same? When people want to say, "Oh, I want to hire a lawyer," would you think they would always choose a female lawyer when it comes to maritime issues and all of that? Is there a challenge or a gap?
Personally, I don't come at challenges with gender at the forefront of my mind.
Oh, okay.
So I know that there are nuances and peculiarities when it comes to whether you are male or female. But what I always say to people is that make sure that you are competent, make sure that you are effective, make sure that you are ethical in what you do, and give it your best.
No, please say it again. Make sure whatever you do, you have to be competent, ethical, and effective. Fantastic.
So I mean, a goldfish has no hiding place. So whether you are female or male, eventually the clients that are meant for you will come to you. I don't see being female as a disadvantage.
Okay. I also see that your company, of course, it looks to me, when I saw the name, looks like it's owned by your father. So I know these things about lawyers, that most lawyers you see, they will always have all their children, if possible, becoming lawyers as well. Is it like a norm, or is it like the parents always advise their children to also become lawyers and all of that?
Well, Tsumba and Tsumba Legal Practitioners is actually a partnership.
Okay.
And in Nigeria, law firms are business names, not limited liability companies. So it's a partnership. But yes, I would say that there was influence from him, not direct but indirect, because I grew up watching him practice law. It was good, it was thriving, and it was something that was that influenced me greatly. And most lawyers are also very charismatic. So definitely it's something that people are drawn to. How much more your children. I have a sister that is a lawyer as well.
Oh, you have a sister that is a lawyer as
Yeah,
well?
my older sister is a lawyer as well. And I think that
your elder sister is a lawyer.
She is a lawyer.
So
First child is a lawyer.
You have 3 lawyers in the family?
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Yes, we do. Well, interestingly, my mom is an accountant, and one of my sisters is an accountant as well.
So it's balancing of kind of.
So I think it's more like a lot of times your children probably do. They copy some things from you. So
especially when you're doing well.
Yeah.
You know, most times if you're doing well and the children are seeing it, tendency that they're going to copy you.
Yes.
Okay, so that goes to the parents out there, that they need to do well so that their children can also copy them, step into their shoes. Like Cash is also stepping into her father's shoes to manage the company. Okay, so somebody once told me, he said, if you don't train your children, okay, if you don't train your children properly, okay, it means that all the labors and all the sufferings you've done is going to be a waste. So no need of piling money when you know that you don't have the competent children to manage them. Do you agree with that? I think I do agree with that.
Well, I mean, I see how that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we have a responsibility to raise our kids to be useful people in society.
If you really want them to follow your footsteps, or at least do something reasonable in the society. Okay, so was it convenient for you? Have you always worked in this organization, you know, in this your Tsumba and Tsumba? Have you always been there, or at some point in life you felt, oh, I need to go into my family business, I need to go take over the business and all of that?
Interestingly, I only became a partner in Tsumba and Tsumba in February this year.
Oh, really?
I mean, I always had holiday jobs there as a student and things like that. But when I graduated, I was quite intentional about not working in Tsumba and Tsumba.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't want people to think that my merit was just based on the fact that my father was a senior partner there.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to work where I didn't, where I could really work and make a name for myself. And it wouldn't be like, oh, I had that on a platter of gold because it was a family thing.
Oh, I see.
So I came to Tsumba and Tsumba because my dad has gone into retirement.
Okay.
So it seemed, I mean, it was just the right thing to do at that time.
Wow.
You know, to keep the legacy going.
It's so interesting to hear when people want to work for, you know, they give value and they're assessed based on the value they give. Not like they just walk into it because somebody somewhere feels that, oh, it's my daughter, it's my son. You know, if Nigerians were just like this, and things be a very nice community where people merit what they do. You know, so I'm very proud of that. And of course, as a female, you know, thinking that direction, you know, people think that women are just there to get things on a platter of gold.
Yeah.
You know, they just think, oh, because I'm a woman, okay, they just gave her because she's a woman, you know. But we'll have exceptional cases like yours where, not really exceptional cases, there are lots of cases like that, but people don't see that. They just feel, oh, she just got it. You know, it's quite exciting. Okay, so let's see, you're not just doing maritime law. Okay, not just into maritime, the other things you do. I see that your company is into real estate, your company is into oil and gas, and all of that. So many things, the corporate compliance and all of that. So are you able to fit into all of this too? Now that you're a maritime lawyer, does it mean you can also fit into, you know, these areas I'm seeing in your company?
Yes, in the sense that, so every client that you have that is engaging in business either is working in a company or has incorporated a limited liability company. Okay. That is the vehicle that they're using for that business.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, you have corporate governance requirements that they have to meet. So even though you are a maritime lawyer, maritime law is a part of commercial law. Okay. So issues that have to do with the board, issues that have to do with their compliance, issues with their regulators and with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you still handle those issues for them. So we're involved in company law as well. Okay. And then when it has to do with things like real estate, of course the client is going to need a location to run their business. Okay. So sometimes they want to acquire property, they want to sell property, they want to have a lease or a mortgage. We're able to advise in that area as well. Okay. And then we also know that Nigeria is a very big user of crude in terms of imports, and you import these on vessels. So the other side of maritime is actually oil and gas, because that is the cargo predominantly. So we're quite involved in that as well. The contracts, the lifting, the specifications, the regulations. Wow,
so maritime is really big.
Yes, it's quite
It's
wide.
not just like, I thought it was something you just have to be in the water, and all of that. Waterways is what comes to my mind when I hear maritime.
It has to do with the water, but what are you carrying in the water? You have to be knowledgeable about those areas as well. That makes you more well-rounded.
You know, we're talking about real estate. You know, when you connect it to real estate, it sounded very interesting to me. You know, these people are talking about real estate, and all of that. So, as a lawyer, is there any way one would know the right property to buy and all of that? You know, because what we see out, the people post a lot of things for sale, and then sometimes they don't get to show you that this property is not for sale. The owner puts it there, this property is not for sale. So what do you advise people who want to acquire properties?
So I find that a lot of times when people want to buy property, it's almost like they see the lawyer as a waste of money.
Okay.
But that's what I call penny wise, pound foolish. Because what happens at the end of the day is that people go and buy a liability, or they buy property that doesn't have a good title. When I say doesn't have a good title, the person selling doesn't have the right to sell.
Okay.
So more or less, you've lost your money. So I always say to people, you want to buy property, get a lawyer who will conduct a search for you in the registry and know the state of that land. What is the title of the land? Is there governor's consent? Is there a C of O? Is it registered in the registry? Is it family land? The lawyer must conduct a search, physical search, even on the land. You take a surveyor there as well from the Surveyor General's office. Find out, is it government acquired land? What kind of user is in the area? Is it for commercial purposes? Is it for private purposes? These are all things you need to find out. You don't just buy a piece of paper from someone and say, I've bought property. People like to bypass the legal aspect of it because they feel that they are being they feel they are saving, but at the end of the day, it's more expensive because you may lose your money. So that's the advice I will give.
So for any person who is going into any legal any real estate store, they should try and get a lawyer involved.
They should.
Important,
They should.
They should. Okay, so that's you in your profession. Now, so I'm going to take you a little bit out of your profession, you know. So I'm looking at you as a woman. I mean, do you do other things outside being a lawyer, going to the courts, getting documents, getting properties for, you know, being in the oil and gas and all of that? Outside that, what do you do? How do you balance your life outside that?
So outside that, I have other interests. I'm a pastor.
Oh, you're a pastor?
Yes.
Wow. Yes. You didn't say that.
I am. So that's one of the things that interests me, and I'm very involved in the community. I mean, I'm involved with sharing the gospel to people, planting churches. Recently, I went to Osun State, a place called Iloko. Done that in India as well. In
India?
In a place called Andhra Pradesh.
Wow.
I've gone to Tanzania to do those things as well. I also give career talks.
Of the gospel.
Thank you. I also do career talks for secondary schools. I do it through an NGO is called Invent. So they give me that platform as well, where I can go and speak to students and, you know, encourage them on the building blocks of having a good career and, you know, generally just succeeding at life. So that's what I do in my spare time. I also spend lots of time with family, friends. Family time is very important to me. I mean, wow, that's quite exciting to know that it's not just law. There are other things you do, contribute to the society, you know, be the pastor that you are. But there's something that's really, you know, bothers me. I keep wondering, you know, because you mentioned that you're a pastor and also a lawyer. Sometimes I stand to be corrected. You know, we see lawyers to be liars. I don't know. We say lawyers are liars. I don't know. Okay, because we believe that this is white, and you take it to a lawyer. Okay, because he's trying to defend your case. I don't know if that is intentional or that's part of the training. That's yes, it is white, he's seen it clearly, but he turns it to green. He says, no, it is green. Is it because of the money, or that's how it's supposed to be? So I'm seeing as a pastor, and I'm also seeing as a lawyer. Both of them seem not to look so balanced. How do you balance it up? So I think generally lawyers have quite a poor reputation when it comes to truth, which is really sad, because from law school you are taught about ethics. We're supposed to have a high level of ethics. We even have a bar committee on ethics. So
on ethics?
Yes. So professional ethics are really, really important. Now, in terms of lawyers telling the truth and trying to twist things, it all comes down to the individual and what you think is ethical. I don't do that as a person. But I also think that a lot of times you may say the same story, but it depends on perspective, and it depends on context. You may say to me, oh, this person hit me over the head. And it sounds like, oh, your lawyer comes and says he's very aggressive, that was assault, that was wrong. And then my lawyer comes and says, I saw this person pull out a gun and I hit them over the head in self-defense. Now you see how the landscape of the story is changing because of context. So if you hear one person, you will think, oh, I just saw them and I hit them over the head. But when I bring the other side of the story looks a bit different. You then see that there's a self-defense element coming in there. So perspective is very important in law. Context is very important in law, which is what sometimes, when taken out of context, may look like a lie. I don't say that there are no lawyers that lie. There are lawyers that lie, but it's not, I mean, that's not what we're encouraged to do or trained to do.
Wow, that's nice to hear. So now let's look at Nigeria. Let's come back home, We're seeing the challenges here. We know about a fuel subsidy removal, so many things, so people are trying to balance, trying to struggle to see how they can balance up their lives. What do you advise the general public? How do we try to make this balance? How do we try?
So when you say balance, I want to be clear on what you mean. Like, is it in terms of making ends meet? Making ends meet.
We know the society is quite challenging. People are, I mean, we don't have enough. Many people don't have enough food on the table. A lot of people can't pay their hospital bills, can't pay their house bills. So we're struggling. Presently, there's a lot of people struggling. In fact, I'm also struggling anyway. So what do you think we should do to be able to have this mental stability and of course financial stability as well?
That's a very valid question, because I see that with the recent subsidy removal, inflation has skyrocketed. What I say to people that are into business really and entrepreneurship is, make your business a global business. And when
I didn't get that. Make your business a what?
A global business.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, when you say that, it sounds like something very, far-fetched. But there's a lot of social media now. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have so many spaces, so many platforms that people use. Lots of people have smartphones. Of course, I know that's not everybody in our country. That might not be a very large spectrum of people. But for people that have that, I would say use those mediums and as a platform to advertise. Advertise, sell whatever it is that you have there. Remember that you as a person, you are a brand as well. How are you branding yourself? Can you write? Can you write things, articles, or just small clips of what you do and put them on the internet? There are lots of people that will see those things. Put the hashtags that drive traffic towards your handle or your page. So when you sell those things internationally, people come into your inbox with the image you are projecting. You start getting clients or customers that are not within Nigeria. Even if you are just sewing Ankara, it's possible to sell it internationally.
Oh, really?
Now people then buy that in foreign exchange, where you are getting foreign funding coming in. That kind of helps balance things out a bit.
So we need to go more internationally by, of course, people have the mobile phone, instead of just wasting time, just some people just stay on the internet whiling away their time when there's a lot they can do there. Okay, that's fine. So as a lawyer, are you also able to go international? I mean, how do one go international with Facebook and all of that? So do you sell yourself online as well?
Yes, I do. I sell myself online. So one of the things I always ask people is, what is the image that you are creating for yourself on social media? Lots of times you ask people a question and they say, Google is your friend. Okay, who is KASHIMANA TSUMBA? Google is your friend. When you Google KASHIMANA TSUMBA, what do you see? That is me creating a profile for myself. When I put things on Facebook, I put things on Instagram, I try to see those things through the lenses of a stranger. When people look at my page, what do they see? So it is for me to paint the picture that I want people to see on my social media handles, and of course that involves my business. And then I also advertise in international journals, so that the international community, when they open those journals, they can actually see, oh, there's a lawyer in Nigeria that does this. So those are like the areas where I invest my energy. And
wow, it's been nice talking with you. Quite
Same
a very
here,
blatant person telling us it's not just working locally, we have to go international as well. And so final word before you leave, what do you have to say to the people out there who are watching you? What do you advise them? It has to do with your firm or your business, whatever.
This program is about balance. So one of the things I'll say to people is that success should be holistic. When I say holistic, all-rounded. There are people who are successful in career and their career success has crashed their family life. There are people who, because they have a family life, they don't have a career. Or when I say career, they don't have anything that generates an income for them. I don't think that's success either. I think that success should be well-rounded. You shouldn't succeed at the expense of other aspects of your life. Some people are succeeding because of that spiritually. They're failing. You should succeed in your career, succeed in your family life, and succeed in your spiritual life. All three elements, when you tie them together, that is actually true success in my perspective.
Wow, thank you so much. So you heard that from Kash, and Kash is going to be going on vacation very soon. I think you're going on vacation, am I correct? So you also take time off to go on vacation definitely. And all of that. Wow, it's nice speaking with you. Thanks for being on this call.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I hope you make our time to come some other time and talk to us more about this your international way of doing business and showcasing ourselves. That's going to be a full topic of its own, because I know you have a lot in here. Thank you so much for being here.